What's up, YouTube? This is Jared coming back with another episode. Today's a very exciting day. Many of you guys have been asking for me to finally do a turbo upgrade on the truck, and today is that day. Well, it was actually a few days ago, 4 to be exact. That turbo did not work out for me. We will get into that. That was the GT4088 cover I used. I have not completely figured out what's wrong with that turbo, and I don't have the time to right now. I do plan to still mess with that, figure it all out, because a few people are using this design. So guys, before I reveal the turbo, here's your last chance to drop a comment down below. Let me know, what turbo do you feel I went with? Now, what sparked this is not actually that I wanted to do a turbo upgrade right now. I wanted to hold off even longer. I really wanted to tow with my stock setup and see how a stock turbo with the cam, the ported intake, the heads, everything, the whole setup, how that ran on a stock turbocharger, more specifically how it towed. Because a lot of people will do some of the mods I've done, or even all of them, but they get a little weird when you start talking about really making some decent power with these trucks. And by decent power, I'm looking for numbers over 500. That's about 60 horsepower more than you can get out of a healthy stock 6-liter with a high tune. So when you start getting that 500, 550 horsepower range, I consider that decent horsepower. Especially for a relatively stock 6-liter truck. So, what happened was my turbo ate it hard. It's bad. I'm going to show you the turbine shaft. So each of these fins on the turbine shaft is absolutely destroyed. Okay, so I just want to talk about a couple quick things. First, this is how I hold this harness up. It's just a magnet that flexes. I loop it in here and hook the magnet there. It works pretty well. I haven't had many issues with it. Obviously, if you bump it, it's going to fall, but that works well, and I just like it better than tying it up there like some people do. So there's that. Next is, if you're removing, as you're removing the turbo bolts, they have a tendency to round. Use either the open end of a wrench, and more preferably a closed end of a 6-point. But even if you round it, odds are a 6-point will be able to still get it off. That's how I got the previous one off. Gave me issues on Tuesday, but I was able to get my hands on a 6-point wrench, and I am now going to be purchasing one. I still don't have it, but I am getting a 6-point wrench just for these turbo bolts. They do round. There is one down here right in front. I can't really see it, and LED lights are not the best for this kind of thing. So there's one down there. There's one back here. And on the 03s, the rear bolt is facing towards the center of the turbo. They're all 10 millimeter. Here's the turbo that's in here. I mean, it spins freely. I don't know why it's... What the issue is, that it's not doing what I need it to do, but we're getting it out of there. I'm going to work on figuring it out. So it is weird, like, I thought for sure like something would be stuck. We're not going to get into that now. Two 10 millimeter bolts up top, and I believe the bottom of the oil drain tube is a 5/16. That's down here. Some of you guys will notice I have a different coolant reroute. We'll talk about that later when there's better lighting. We're gonna get this turbo off. Exhaust and Y pipe are 11 millimeter or 11 millimeter or 7/16 will work. So I'm gonna go back, get this stuff off, and we'll go from there, guys. Okay guys, real quick secret here. WD-40, the exhaust clamps, they pop right off then. Don't waste your time trying to beat them off, you're gonna break them. Spray some WD-40 on them, give it 10 seconds and pop them off. You'll just save yourself so much time and headache instead of trying to wrestle them off. So that's what I do. It works great. Also, I want to say I've tried PB Blaster before. For some reason it doesn't work as well. WD-40 just seems, for whatever reason, when something like this, it's not rusted or anything, it's just so much heat's been on there, it really cakes, you know, plus you crank them down really tight. WD-40 for whatever reason can get in there and break that up. So I'm sure something else works well, but for some reason, again, this is just what's worked well for me. I picked this trick up from Diesel Tech Ron. Try it for yourself. I don't think you're gonna regret it. It's a great little trick. Did you guys hear that click? That was the clamp coming loose. Okay guys, I loosened up the driver's side Y-pipe to manifold connection. That gives the Y-pipe some wiggle room. Sometimes it gets in your way taking the turbo out and putting it back in. So I typically recommend, if you're having a hard time doing one or the other, or both, just loosen it up. Sometimes instead of spending 15 minutes wrestling to get the turbo out, spend 5, unhook it, spend another 5 hooking it back up. It'll save you a huge headache in the end. It just makes the job easier, and you're not beating on your Y-pipe then. They're pretty sturdy, but at the same time, they are also known to leak, so just something to consider when you're doing this part of the project. Okay guys, so here's the old setup. I'm gonna figure out what's wrong with this, because I feel like I can still use this. I just need to fix it. So I'm gonna figure that out, get this turbo up and running, and probably sell it. I do have someone interested in it. It will build boost, but it's ridiculously slow. Then all of a sudden it takes off like a rocket ship, but it'll still only build like 24 PSI of boost. I can see 33 out of the stocker, with a messed up turbine shaft, mind you. So I think that's kind of impressive. I'm not sure what that's more impressive of, the longevity of that beat to heck turbo or the setup or whatever, the tuning, but I can hit 33 pretty easily on that. So there's my old one, well, my new-esque turbo. And here is my brand spanking new Garrett PowerMax. I'm pretty excited about this. This is one of those upgrades I've always wanted to do. And one thing I want to say is, maybe it's similar in size. I was going to say the inside diameter here seems to be bigger on this setup than this guy. So I'm not sure what makes the AR housing ratio, but this is supposedly a 0.7, and this, it says on it, what is it, 0.58. I think, for some reason, I want to say the original turbos are 0.52. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. And just to show you guys, the housings are obviously very different here. So this is a silencer ring. This is machined out. If you machine this out, you get something very similar to what looks like inside the PowerMax. Not quite this, but something very close underneath here. But I also notice there's a difference on the tab here. Well, one, there's a tab. I do not have that. And the backing plate is different. So here's the old backing plate. There's this lip here the whole way around. I'm not going to claim to know what the differences are, but I would imagine that the new design is better. That is my theory, is that this style is probably better, probably flows better, just overall better performance. Now, I do believe the stock turbos have this new compressor cover on them. I don't think they stuck with this. I could be wrong. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to claim to know everything about turbos. Stock wheel spins freely. So does my other one, though, all I'm saying. I'm going to figure that turbo out. I'm really irritated about that because I thought it was going to be a blast, but it's been a pain in my butt. I'm going to figure it out, though. So this guy, though, I'm not expecting any problems. We have a brand new VGT solenoid, all new 100% parts. If somebody knows down below, could you guys comment, does the PowerMax come with a 360 thrust washer? That is my only question I would really like to know, is if it does have the upgraded thrust washer in it from factory. I really hope it does. That being said, as I've mentioned before, I'm not planning on running this turbo forever. This is just to get me to the next level. This will be the last, I mean, after this for stock injectors, there's no point in going any bigger than this turbo because a stock injector can't really produce any more power than what this is going to take advantage of. I'm not saying you couldn't maybe squeeze 5 more horsepower out of the setup, but I mean, I'd be very shocked to see any real difference, other than I would expect less power down low from a bigger turbo and more lag without enough fuel. So anyway, this setup should take every advantage of the stock injectors I can. I'm excited to see the dyno hopefully coming this Thursday if the weather holds out, although this is our 3rd attempt at making it work, guys. But that is enough of me talking. I'm going to get this turbo in here and call it a day. Okay guys, I'm gonna end the time lapse here. I'm gonna quick wrap this up. I got about 10 minutes. I'm gonna give you guys a first startup down at the exhaust pipe, or tailpipe, excuse me, so you guys can hear what the PowerMax sounds like all hooked up. I'm gonna quick wrap up. Got, like I said, about 10 minutes here worth of work, and then we are gonna do our startup. I am getting new tunes from Innovative Diesel Performance. However, they said the truck will run just fine with the current tunes. Some small tweaks to the tune is all they do. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get back to work and I'll see you in a little bit. you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to leave us a like. It helps the channel out a lot. It helps our videos continue to grow and get views, and overall helps the channel. So please continue to do that, guys. Also, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think of the channel. We really love hearing from you guys. And we have the dyno hopefully coming this Thursday. Stay tuned for that. I can't wait to see what the truck puts down. I will have updated tunes for that. And that's all, guys. Have a great day.